I am Dr. Kathleen Hall, and this is The Way I See It.
And my name's Bailey, like the Irish cream, and this is the way I see it.
Well, today, since the flu is going around so rampantly...
Oh, that was for comedic effect.
Well, and since one, I won't call out any names, but someone you and I
Our
love... Our teammate...
was affected gravely.
After I, for how many months, said, get flu shots, get flu shots, get flu shots. And everybody looked at me like, who is she talking to? I'm young. I don't need to get a flu shot.
I'm going to live forever.
I'm going to live forever. And so we just had one of our wonderful teammates, come down with a really bad case of the flu. So what it got Bailey and I to thinking about was I posed, hey, since everybody's talking about influenza, why don't we talk about techfluenza?
Ka-chow puns.
And
which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, because technology is like the flu. It
really is, and it's affecting all of us.
And, whether you're in the grocery store line, I don't care where you are now. I saw the news last night. They were talking about emergency rooms. So many of them every day are seeing accidents from people looking at their screens while they're walking. And they walk into posts. They fall down off of,
down
sidewalks,
a flight of stairs, down into the subway
exactly.
or something.
Serious ones. One actually, like you said, fell on a subway train. It's really, and those are just the catastrophic ones.
Not my proudest moment, but this was probably 3.5 years ago, walking down the street downtown Atlanta. I was at school at Georgia State and bonked my head right on a sign. Eyes down, just glued to the screen. I was a straight up statistic in this news story that you heard.
I love it. Oh my God.
Full disclosure, I was one of those people.
We have a person of interest here.
We certainly do.
Oh
it was,
my God.
I think, my head hurt, but my ego hurt more, because
Well, I'm one of those people that, I'm working Al-Anon, okay? So I try to mind my own business, okay? And I try to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And not get involved in other people's micromanaging the world. But,
however,
when I'm at a stoplight and somebody crosses, this is like 6 and 8 lanes of traffic. He knows what I'm talking about. Here in Atlanta, busy. And somebody's looking down at their phone the entire time. Now, do you know how people drive here? You and I both know, right?
I know how we both drive.
Yes. And then you have people visiting from out of town and they don't know where they're going, in all fairness. And so anyway, and lunatics and everything else, and distracted drivers, which are huge.
Right.
A friend of mine.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, a friend of mine's child was killed horribly at a young age of 22, 23 with a distracted driver who killed her. And that was something you just never get over. But the point is when I see them, I lay on the horn. Ask my husband, I've been known to roll down my window and scream. And he's like, you are not everybody's mother. Would you stop this? And I said, but I have been hit by a car. I have been. And had an NDE, was dead for a while. And I was hit by somebody. And I was aware this person was a distracted driver. And she was on her phone.
I never knew this.
Yes, and hit me from behind. So I have I had seizures for years. I had lost.
Were you in a vehicle or
no? I was walking.
Pedestrian.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was in Beverly Hills, California. And
Lord.
so it took years, thank God, for Emory, of physical therapy, learning to walk and talk and get my life back again, and bladder control, and subsequent seizures for years. I have.
How old were you when this happened?
This was 2009. So
it
was 10 years ago. But so I have a thing about, being aware when you're walking, especially pedestrians.
Yeah.
So when I see these people on phones walking and realize how quickly their life could be taken from them. And also, here's the other side of it, the person that hits them. The woman who, killed me and they brought me back at Cedars. But still, she was nuts for a long time because she caused me permanent. I still have brain damage on my MRIs. I've got permanent brain damage.
Yeah, you can't do that to someone
exactly.
And leave unaffected.
And so don't think that these are cruel people. She's a sweet, loving, en pair. Yeah, she was a nice person and took my life away from me. So my point about this is it's both and. So and so techfluenza is huge. And so, and it's fracturing family systems. We look at the data in marriage and family counseling reports, and it talks about there are no boundaries. They're porous in homes anymore. So the mother may be cooking or doing the dishwasher, loading it, and she's on the phone with her friend or her sister or her mother talking, and her children are sitting there at the table or at the counter, or the father, vice versa.
Right.
And so we're distracted, and then as our children, get up, they do the same thing. So they're witnessing us not being present in their lives. And it's not just children, with each other's lives. I watch couples, people that live together, friends. It's becoming unbelievably huge, and I call it techno cocooning, or I call it techno caves, techno silos. And we really, I'm sitting here with you, but if I was on my phone right now, I would be in my own silo or my own cave.
Of course, yeah.
Or my own cocoon, whichever term you want. And in that, we are cutting out rituals. One of the biggest things we notice too, by the way, is a lot of young people, there's getting some emerging studies on this. Part of the success of life is reading body language of other people. I mean, that's how when I was on Wall Street and you walked into a meeting, I knew who liked me, who didn't, who was on board during the presentation, and I would look back at them and go, "Are you tracking, Bailey, or do I need to go back over the numbers?" It's a
The things that people don't say but are saying.
Exactly, but reading body language. And of course, if you want to go back to Neanderthal, way back in our time as human history.
Before language developed?
Well, you better be able to read body language when somebody's coming out of the woods or the jungle. Are they smiling, or are they moving at a little nice pace?
Or are they a threat? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly,
So it's literally in our survival of DNA is reading body language. Literally.
We're derailing.
Well, and we could do a whole other thing.
I
know a couple of people really well that were in the CIA and in the intelligence thing.
Oh, they study body language?
Oh my God, the things that these spies and people know, it's absolutely astounding and cool.
I love
But on the
stuff.
reverse side, it's terrifying because we're numb now.
Especially we're undoing all of this.
We're undoing all of your survival, beautiful, gorgeous instincts of human behavior, of not looking into each other's eyes, not seeing if you're, moving your fingers nervously through your hands and or twitching or doing anyway a million different body language effects.
Social
we
cues,
don't know
that
how.
type of stuff,
Social cues, how to read them. So it's a real problem. And
just to speak on the cocooning
Sure,
thing before we jump to the next one, I was in Starbucks 2 months ago, and there was some, I say kids, they were like, 16 or 17. Big group of kids, probably like 8 of them, right? In Starbucks. You think like when you're 16 and you're like with all your friends,
God.
That's the best.
Party Central, man. Party Central.
And they were on like
finishing each other's sentences, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Can't get a word in edgewise. We don't like Bailey. You can't get a word in edgewise.
No. You know me so well. And, I see these 8 kids, and they're on like a Friends-style couch setup. It just looked like the set of a movie. All of them nose buried in their phone. And I was just, and I know I sound like a grumpy old man right now, but it just really bummed me out because I'm just thinking about all the times whenever I was 16 and like to be around 7 of your friends was the best thing. And it's like, man, y'all are doing the same thing you could do if everybody was at their own house right now. You know?
And do you remember that when you'd get into public with your buddies, you'd watch other people and you'd people watch and laugh and do all this funny stuff because you were reacting.
And I felt like they were just missing out on so much good times. It was so crazy. I had to throw that in there because the cocoon thing, that just resonated with me.
No, and I love it. I love that as young as you are, that you're seeing it everywhere also. And we see it, and I know you do too, more and more as a babysitter. I mean, last weekend we were in Tennessee and we were in a stable and it was gorgeous outside, my God. And it was really cute. They had a pen of goats, and they even had chickens. It was adorable. Roosters, and then they had a chicken. I mean, it was like something out of a book.
Right.
Horses, and then there were Marin foals and a Marin foal. I mean, it was just, I can't tell you, like an odyssey. So I walk in. There's probably a 4-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy in there, and their parents are there looking at horses or doing what, and they're on the screen. They're on their iPhones. One's watching cartoons. and one is watching something on YouTube that I don't even know what was going on the YouTube. It was some competition, but it was adult too. It was an adult thing that he was watching, and I was like, oh my God. So, defaulting as a babysitter is, don't you think it's just like, think of your childhood. I mean, that's pretty painful to watch, don't you think?
It is. It is. There were definitely times where the television babysat me, but then there was plenty of times where it was like, go outside for 2 hours and don't come back in. I definitely was told that before. And thank God for that, because otherwise I would have no motor functions at all. Seriously.
Well, and I know your activity level. I can't imagine you being not outside moving, playing as a child.
Yeah,
oh my God, I can't even imagine it. And also, it's a nice default, by the way. It's a nice little tool that we use for avoidance. So in relationships or friends or work, you don't have to deal with people if you are
head down.
Yeah, head down.
Yeah.
We were eating last night at a Thai restaurant. It was really cool. These 8 business people came in and got a table next to us, and it was really cool. And they talked and they laughed and they talked about how many units they sold of this in Atlanta. So anyway, they kept talking and everything. So Jim and I finished eating, and it was like an hour, Bailey. And I was like, what is going on here? So
they were just going for an hour?
And I could do a little promo here and say what their shirt said on them. And by the way, they did say Best Buy.
Ooh.
Yeah, they all had Best Buy shirts.
I'm sure they're having a very good time this time of year.
Yeah, and they were just adorable talking. And these are grown men and stuff. Then I went to leave and I said, number one, I love Best Buy. Of course, all 8 of our television sets. So again, I just busted open
so much money.
The whole mindfulness, the whole, people go, aren't you in the simplicity movement? No, not really.
No, I've got 8 TVs. I literally just bought a TV there last week for Melissa.
So
great deal, dude. Great television.
So I'm like, no, my husband loves television. He loves sports. And so, what can I say? But in mindfulness is, again, here we go with the awareness choice, so
Exactly.
we're aware.
Yeah.
They're never on, but he just has to know that they're close so he can turn on
just in case.
A bulldog game or something. But it really is easier than fighting or arguing in relationships or having problems. So back to the Best Buy guys. So we're sitting there and I go to leave. I thank them for their company and I love them. And of course they have a woman CEO, plug, my little feminist self.
Love it.
And I said, I love your CEO. And then I said, and I have a question. Why did not one of you pick up a phone for 1 hour? I said, you're in the technology business. And they said, well, when we work all day, we want to cherish each other and respect each other and talk about business and talk about our families and kids and what's going on in the world. And so we make this time. And I just went, oh my God. Because here I was perusing the restaurant, as you can well imagine.
Oh, I'm sure
90% of the people's children were on iPads or phones. I saw 5 couples that never said one word except ordering. They never. So it was really refreshing. But another thing I want to talk about, which is another tragedy, I think, is you lose memories. That you don't get a chance to do your life over again. So all the parents I saw with their kids there, they don't have the stories that I have from sitting there with my children or looking into my husband's eyes.
Wow, what a great point.
After, he lost a patient and he wanted to withdraw and I held his hand and said, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
You miss all of those beautiful memories looking around and people watching. Not one of them in this city of Atlanta. Do you know how many people there are to watch?
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching people miss out on so much fun. And then the other thing is, you and I both know the seasons. I'm a nature freak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, these people walking their dogs, looking at a smartphone and you know how beautiful this place is in the spring.
Oh, yeah.
Summer,
we actually get seasons in Atlanta.
And it's so gorgeous. And it grieves me because I went, oh my God.
Look around at the beauty.
Oh my God, that pansy has lived its whole life just to show you how beautiful she is. Or a rose, look at her bloom, and she's only going to bloom this amount of time. Or, hydrangeas, and we have so many of them here. So it grieves me that, oh my God, memories lost.
You miss out on all that.
You miss out on all those kind of things. It's just so tragic. And then we also know the psychological ramifications are loneliness and depression. It really is isolating, and we're seeing a pandemic of loneliness. We're looking at health outcomes, and so much of the people that are coming in with ulcers, epigastric pain, I don't care if it's diarrhea, headaches, back pain, all the things that people are getting, I'm telling you, this loneliness and depression, again, it is really an epidemic. As a matter of fact, England is really studying this in their national healthcare system. They actually instituted call centers for loneliness because it's such a horrendous influence on health, mental and physical health
Right.
outcomes. And they know it, and they're trying to turn around the tide. So technology isn't helping this. So, and it's hypnotic. We really don't know that we're doing it. In all fairness, it hypnotizes us. And actually, one of the biggest types of addiction that we're struggling with right now and talking to people about is technology addiction. Because you can literally, just like drinking, smoking, anything else, it is an addiction that when you can use it for anything you don't want to face, avoidance, work problems,
Right.
Emotional things, if you don't want to think about your mother or your sister or a problem you're going through or a health consequence, just default, go to YouTube and watch something different.
Right. Yeah, that the addiction thing, that's so true. I don't know. Do you have an iPhone?
Oh, absolutely.
You do have an iPhone?
Sure.
I feel like
iPhone, iPad, Mac. I told you I'm not part of the big simplicity movement. I
Yeah.
am mindful and mindful living. And again, here we go with choice. I'm very aware, but baby, I love my technology.
yeah. I assume most people have an iPhone, and I think it was 2 updates ago they incorporated this setting, and I don't know if you've gotten your notifications on it, but it tells you your iPhone usage
Yes.
throughout the day.
Yes.
Wow, that hit me like a brick truck.
Good.
Man, the first day I did it, it's like you were on your phone for 5 hours today. And I was like, oh my goodness
Thank
gracious.
God you're doing that, and thank God they're doing it.
I was, whenever I first got it, I was like, ignore, forget the notification or whatever. I brought it back because I want to have that accountability. You know what I mean? I also, in respect to the addiction, I don't know if I don't know, you're more mindful than I am, but every morning when I wake up, I just have this overwhelming urge to just right next to me on the bedstand, pick it up and just waste 30 minutes.
Exactly.
I'll openly admit that. And it's not emails planning my day. It is junk. It is, and it's like we've substituted reading the morning paper for just thumbing through a timeline of like what everybody
also
did last night.
How
or
precious
whatever.
your life is. It's precious. It's sacred. And all that time, like about memories or whatever, you can never get that back.
Burning 30 minutes like
Yes.
that.
But here we go with awareness. See? Now you're aware.
Right.
It's pretty amazing that you could either sit on the back porch and have a cup of coffee, or meditate, or stand on your head, or pet your cat, or sing, or anyway, anything that you
Right.
want to do. And I want to be clear. These are the 3 things to know if you're sliding into addiction. I think it's helpful. One is
Please tell me because I need them.
Okay, one is accessibility, which you said. It's right next to you, right? All of us. It's right next to us on our charging stations at night.
Yep.
And it's immediate access to games or stock trading, which I was with my stock people up in Wall Street, sex, auction houses, gambling. Accessibility is the first part of addiction. It's right there. Next is control. You are the gatekeeper. So if you think you're in control of your online activity, you will be. If you don't, again, here we go into the victimization. I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't help it.
Right.
And then the next is excitement. Do you get a rush or a high when you do it? I mean, there's some kind of a pump up that you feel. And those are 3 pretty important things to become aware of. Like when you picked up, are you like flat when you get up and you picked up that phone? Do you see? To see, is there anything that'll bring me up? Or is there anybody who's contacting me or whatever? Instead of self-actualization.
Right.
Going inside yourself and maybe starting on your brain when you wake up in the morning and talk to every organ in your body. Go, hey, brain, thank you. You process 100,000 chemical reactions a second. And I just slept for 7 or 8 hours. I can't imagine what healed in me last night.
Right.
I can't even imagine what you did for me. And your eyes. Thank you for me seeing today because I saw, I could be blind or my eyes could be impaired. Hearing.
Right.
Go through all of your senses, your sense of smell. Thank God for your mouth and your stomach, that how many people that whether they have cancer or are starving, they don't have the access to tasting food.
Right.
Thank your heart that beats God knows from the time, billions of times, from the time you're conceived till you
Right.
die. Go through your organs of your body. How many of you have thanked your liver, your pancreas for the processing? Oh my God.
I've had to ask my liver for forgiveness before.
Yes. Well, me too, baby. I'm all over it. I'm with you. You'll have to get behind me on the liver crap.
Yeah.
Woo! But and you see what and that starts your day out with this. Every organ in your body. Think of when you die, and that liver and stops, pancreas, your heart, your brain, and they're just dead. And you never once, maybe in your life, went, you know what?
Thanks.
You gave me the love of my life, or that baby I had.
Yeah.
Or me watching a sunset on the beach. Because you've been working while I've been on my iPhone or whatever.
Exactly.
I've been distracted and you've been working your fanny off.
Without me even realizing
Or
it.
being grateful or
Yeah.
being aware. So, and again, here's some symptoms to be aware of, okay? All of us. Tolerance. Is it to the point of habituation that, see, at least you maybe knew you picked it up?
Right.
But see, a lot of people, and these people crossing the street that I told you I honk at,
Right. Yeah.
their tolerance level is so high, they don't know they're doing it. Do you see?
Yeah. You honk and you wake them out of it. They're like, oh, I'm walking across 8 lanes of traffic. Yeah.
Exactly. And,
Terrible.
and even in the stable, like I told you I was at this weekend when I talked to this woman and I said, do you realize we've been here for an hour and your child has been watching some YouTube thing that you don't even know about for an hour? I said, just mine isn't judgment. Are you aware of it? And she went, oh, no. So see, her tolerance even for her, she was not aware. And withdrawal, when you reduce your access to technology, do you feel irritable or anxious? You get it? If you left your phone at home, like I all the time leave my phone here. And it's pretty funny when I get to the stoplight up at Lenox and I go, I could turn around and get it. Should I turn around and get it?
Have you turned around to get it before?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Oh, I have.
And it is the cool, you know why it's cool? Because you see your anxiety unfold. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You get to the next light and you go, oh my God, I don't have a phone. And then you get to the next traffic light and you go, what the hell? What was I thinking? Then after about 6 lights, we're in Atlanta. After 6 or 10 traffic lights, you kind of go, wow, this is pretty cool. My
The world
anxiety
hasn't ended yet.
Exactly. My anxiety level is like through the roof. Wow, this is just awesome. So what could happen today without a phone? But my point is, it's really cool because, again, that's kind of a withdrawal, right?
Oh, yeah.
I left my phone.
No,
We left our phone at home.
Totally agree.
And then you have physical symptoms. Those are emotional symptoms of, are you starting to disregard your health and your appearance? I mean, I have worked with some web developers or people on the phones that started getting disheveled. They quit shaving. Their clothes started looking tattered. Literally, these are signs that you're starting to get addicted.
Right.
Are you sleep deprived? As you well know, Jim said some of his nurses will get on Facebook and they show up in the morning for when he's doing surgery and they have black circles under that. I go, are you okay? Oh, no. I just got on a thread last night, or, I got on this and I just couldn't go to. So sleep deprivation. Are you less physically active? And you're going, God, my belly, I'm putting on weight, I'm not. And that's where the activity trackers are a little helpful on your iPhone or on your phone, is going, wow, I've really slowed down. Dry eyes. We even have people that are having dry eye disease, in case you haven't seen the tremendous commercials.
I suffer from that.
Yeah, pharma commercials on TV too about dry eyes.
Yeah.
Because of people staring at screens. And cyber shakes. When off technology, the habitual motion of your fingers, we actually watch people twitch with their thumbs. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? So if you notice physical symptoms, emotional, here we go with pull somebody into your life. Again, the buddy system. I don't care if it's a friend, a neighbor, and go, wow, I just woke up. I realize I am not the manager of my technology. I'm the victim. And again, here we go with the victim mentality.
Of course, yeah.
You feel like there's nothing I can do. I might miss something. And also, you said this, have said this before, Bailey, and you can talk to this. If there's so much competition on Facebook, what you have, the car, moving to a new apartment, whatever, new job, you're almost addicted to what everybody else is doing in their dance.
Yeah, and it's a shame, too, because, You know how, like you said, like you like to stay in your own lane? I think that's really good advice that can be taken across, different ideas where it's like you can't be judging yourself against everyone else. And that's all you're doing is you're seeing what your friend's new job position or someone else's new house, someone's in a relationship. You're not, that's, it's unhealthy.
Right.
It's just flat
and
unhealthy.
it doesn't, if the purpose in our lives, if we were born to be free and, let's say, peaceful. I wrote a book on happiness. This is the funny, ironic part. That was my first book. A Life in Balance, The 4 Roots of Happiness. But happiness, by that, I mean peace.
Right.
Serenity is what I mean by that, not happiness, because that is an effervescent up and
temporal.
down.
Yeah,
exactly. And there can be no peace with too much technology. There just can't be. I don't care what. And again, the positive side of a lot of this, though, is having a few symptoms and being able to Google them and go, oh, gosh, I do have a thyroid disorder.
Right.
Or a lot of these apps that are doing mindfulness that you can do a short meditation or a nature app or guided imagery that I do a lot. I lived with tribes, Aboriginal tribes at times, and we also have science. We have good science that shows what drumming does to the brain, especially if you have depression or anxiety disorders. I have a drumming app that I'll do. And then crystals, I love the sound of the crystal bowls. I have a chakra app that goes through the notes.
Is your drum app where you actually drum, or it's the sound of?
It's the sound, and it's shamanic drumming, which puts the brain in a different kind of a tone. It's a rapid,
okay,
which shifts the right and left lobe.
Okay,
it's like this. It's a very chronic
like a steady
one. Exactly, it's very steady, and what it does, it puts the brain into a almost trance. And it allows the body, literally your mitochondria, your body changes into this rhythm, and it heals and facilitates
that's cool.
healing and movement of your blood and everything in a very, very interesting way.
Right. I'm a drummer, so of course.
Well, I didn't know this. I just knew you were.
Yeah, I played drums for a long time.
Very cool.
Yeah, so after the podcast, show me the app because I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, it's shamanic drumming, and it's better, by the way, if you can do it for a good 20 minutes. It really gets the brain entrained.
And it establishes that rhythm, I imagine. Right. It's the continuity of it, I bet.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because the brain, instead of going, right and left lobe, prefrontal cortex, your front, your reptilian brain, that ancient brain, instead of all of these parts, what it does, it goes boom, boom, boom. Everything's kind of in the same entrainment.
I like that.
So anyway, we're definitely, the reason I wanted to talk about this, we're not poo-pooing. Thank God for technology. I mean, what would we be doing without it?
Take advantage of it, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just don't let it take advantage of you.
Are you the manager of it? Are you aware and then you're choosing to do this? Or are you the victim and you're sliding into addiction? And gaming. We didn't talk about gaming. That's one of the biggest addictions going right now.
Oh, definitely.
And it's very, very sad that you're missing having a dog, walking a dog in nature, maybe loving someone and making love, maybe eating at one night a week with friends at one of the greatest restaurants in town,
right?
Instead of just gaming every single
and
night.
And I think it's important to say, and there's like this stigma where it was like it's not just like 16-year-old boys with like a console plugged up to a television. I was actually reading an article, this was a couple of weeks ago, that the biggest demographic for gaming is women around my age that play games on their smartphone. That's actually the biggest video game demographic right now. So it's like, it's not just like being holed up in a room. It's like you can be out in the world, but still holed up in the palm of your hand.
Well, and I plead guilty. I actually worked.
Oh, I plead guilty too.
No. I mean, I don't do it. I'm saying I worked for Microsoft.
Oh.
Yes. And I worked for Electronic Arts.
For
years.
For EA.
And we had
they put out some great games.
I'm a hoe. And they paid me because it was, what we know is when you play, it is playful. It can reduce your stress very seriously.
Right.
Because what it does is playful. It's fun. You're having fun.
It all comes down to that both and.
And
really
so
does.
Here you are. So our campaign was called Take 5 to Play. you know? And again, they wanted to say 20, and I said, you'll never get women with kids and working and stuff 20. They can't commit to 20 minutes.
Right.
You say take 5, now they'll be on their 20. But the hook has got to be just take 5 to play. It'll change your life. So yeah, I did that very effectively for years and had very long-term contracts. So I get it. And mine is, it was supposed to be just like you meditate for 20 minutes or do yoga, play a game for a few minutes. Do you see?
Right.
And also, jigsaw puzzles and things like that are good for your brain, by the way.
Oh my
and
gosh,
there are many.
I love puzzles.
I love puzzles.
Puzzles
too.
are awesome.
Very good.
I also
Very
love
great for your
Legos
brain.
as a kid, and I feel like, Legos are kind of like puzzles a little
Absolutely.
bit.
Sure they are.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So anyway, the biggest thing is for your awareness piece of this is just collect information. Like you said, you found out how much time you're spending on your phone.
Mm-hmm. And that was extremely revealing.
And talk to, Melissa, your partner. Talk to my husband, Jim. Talk to your friends and say, because my husband, because as you well know, I have online companies. If he comes home and I am meeting deadlines and stuff, whoa, I get a flag thrown at me, baby.
Oh.
The old
Did we
football-
talk about that this episode, or that was the last episode? God,
right,
I
we
love
keep, we
that.
keep a stack of little cocktail napkins, and my husband's a football freak.
Yeah, for penalties.
Yeah,
I love that.
we throw flags when we have
so
to call
awesome.
each other out, and then we die laughing. Sometimes we go, I don't deserve a flag. I protest. I get 2 protests per halftime. But anyway, collect information, and that comes from people. That comes from, like you, I love it. That comes from data that you're actually looking at.
yeah,
Oh my God, I spent 5 hours of my life, and if I slept 8, right, and then I did 5, that's 13, and then I commuted 2, that's 17. Oh my God.
What did I do
What
that
did I do?
day?
Exactly.
I mean, gee whiz.
Where's my life?
I know.
So collect information. The other thing is, just like you have a talk about the birds and the bees with your kids, and you go, this is how nature is. This is, everything from reproductive things to anything.
Life
You
and
have
death
birds and bees,
to the-
life and death. Have a technology talk.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your kids and partner in your family regularly about this, and have weekly family meetings, and talk about these things, like how do you feel? When you do go on, what are you watching? And quiz them about that. They want to know. Also, a technology timesheet. If you have kids in the house or whatever you're trying to shift, put a grease board or whatever and keep track, because then you'll see my 12-year-old, oh my God, and they don't realize it. And let them choose their own color. They can write in purple, and the other kid can write in orange, whatever they do. But again, how much time are they spending? And again, even if you have younger kids that don't have phones, how much are they spending on iPads, on computers, and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And let them see that, and then they'll go, and you're giving them a gift for their life, because they're not sliding slippery slope into technology. They're actually saying, oh my goodness, that was like an hour of baking cookies, or that was like an hour of me doing my homework. I spent 4 hours doing this.
Right.
So it teaches them something very valuable. And again, realize that it's wonderful for leisure. It's wonderful for health issues. Oh my God. I have one right now where you can actually you can do an EKG and put your
that's
fingers
cool.
on
Yeah.
it. And my husband had some heart problems, and so we got the EKG. So the things that are happening with it are just miraculous. It's just that it can fracture relationships. It can fracture your life, and just be aware, because
But only if you let it.
only if you let it.
Yeah.
And awareness is the key. And
100%.
And again, the buddy system of everybody talking about it and helping each other out. And again, work, relationships, your friends, your buddies.
Right.
And no matter how hard it is, and it's going to be hard, walk your dog with your phone in your pocket, okay? And see how when your anxiety rises, laugh. I'm very serious. If you forget your phone at home, start laughing when your heartbeat races and you go, oh, Bailey could call me, Vonna could email me, somebody could text me. Then start laughing and going, oh my God, it owns me.
Right.
I don't own it. My life has greater purpose than this. Because if I want to be a Nobel laureate in some area, if I want to change the world, if I want to create a cure for cancer, whatever your dream is, music, write the great, you can't be addicted to it.
No.
Because it'll distract your life. So anyway,
So
I
true.
hope this has helped any, and I want to make sure that, and also I want to leave on do an energy thing too. It can sap your energy. We're looking at depression and anxiety. It very rarely gives you energy unless you're meditating, maybe playing a short little
Right, as a
game
rejuvenation.
or a rejuvenation.
Yeah.
But and that's your intention, then that's very different. It's deliberate. I need, some energy. I need a 5-minute
Deliberate.
break from work.
Keyword.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's do a quick plug for the app and the website.
Yes, the app is fabulous. It's go to the App Store and it's Mindful Living Network. And again, it's got stress tips. It's got inspirational quote of the day. Amazing videos, relaxation videos that are beautiful of nature. And our podcasts are on there, so it's very cool.
Podcast.
And also, you can go to the website is packed with information, and you can go to ourmln.com or mindfullivingnetwork.com. And we have the Stress Institute linked to that, but you can also go to the Stress Institute. So again, Bailey and I always say this, but we're all in to help the planet and everybody make life just a little more loving and a little more connected and a little more peaceful and joyful.
Speaking of connectivity, if we've had some people reach out for some future episode ideas, email us, reach out to us on Facebook and social media. Let us know if you'd like us to do a specific topic. And if we choose your topic, you get a shout out on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. My name was Bailey, like the Irish cream, and this is The Way I See It.
And I'm Dr. Kathleen Hall with The Way I See It. Thank you so much. Take care.